Welcome back, folks. It is abnormally warm today, and it's February. It's kind of crazy. All right, so today I want to see if there is a chance that we can get fluid in the transmission and get that transfer case bolted correctly and fluid in the transfer case and then start it and put it in gear. There's no drive lines right now, but we should see the rear output shaft spin. There's a few things I got to do before we get to that point of, putting fluid in and starting it. Also, before I forget and get going too much, I brought out the old brake caliper and pads that went with it. And I've been looking online for a set of pads, and none of them quite looked like this. And then I finally found it. This rear end was from an Explorer Sport Track, a Ford Explorer Sport Track. A little bit different than the normal Ford Explorer. I don't know why, but I do remember when we initially got some brake pads for this, they didn't fit. They didn't fit the caliper. So I do need to get one of the wheels off the back. And we got to just make sure that this caliper and these pads match what we got. And I need to just test fit these old calipers and make sure that they're going to bolt on and everything's going to be savvy. So that's why I brought this out. We're going to put that right there. This is the horn to the S10, and I've already tested it, and it works. And I figured, hey, why not just use it, right? It works. And you might be asking yourself, well, why not use the old horn that was on the truck? And that is a good question.
That's still blowing stuff out.
Look at the points there. That's an excellent question, I'll tell you. The reason we're not going to use it is, one, at least initially, I don't remember where I put it. But the other reason is because that is a 6-volt horn. So it will not, the 12 volts is going to fry it. All right, guys, so update. I did smooth those out. They smoothed out pretty nice. However, I just started looking at all the runs and stuff I got on this thing that need to be sanded, and there was a lot more than I looked at, and it's just not good. So I'm going to put another coat of paint on this, but I got to sand a lot of this down first. And I've been thinking a lot of this needs to be lightly sanded, just sand it down until it's not shiny, and then get rid of these runs. It's not that big a deal, really. We'll just sand it down and put another coat on it. I still need to run the transmission lines, and so I'm going to put the transmission cooler back on. It's not going to be, we're just going to hang it on there, and then we're going to hang the grill on again. I'm going to run these transmission lines, so that way they're there, and we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, so stand by. I'm going to get this put back on there, like this. So we've got our outlet right here. Oh, I don't know if I showed you this. Got the adapter in. Here's the oil pressure sensor, sender. This sucker, oh man, you know what? I might have to put a little bit of a pipe threader on that sucker. It's not dripping, but I don't want it to drip. Anyway, this right here is for the gauge, and I believe, let's see what this one says. What do you say? I don't know if you can see that. It says sender. It says to oil sender. Yep.
Mr. Sender.
Yeah, basically, I'll have to run this through some wire loom, right? Because we don't want it to be resting on our cooler, and we don't want it to be touching any of our coolers. But we'll run her straight down. Probably come around there, and bloop, right into there. Oil pressure. And then this right here is the horn. And I've been thinking I'll probably just put the horn underneath here. Where is that horn? There's already these holes right here, and I figured maybe, yeah, there should be room. Why not just put that fella right there? Look at that. It'll be golden. Yeah, I think that's what it'll do for now. If it doesn't, if something doesn't work or line up there, we can push it over to the bumper once I get that on, because the bumper has got that right there, that cover. On to what we're going to do. So here's, let's pull the plugs out of the transmission cooler here. So the transmission back here, you see there's the old connector right there, and there is the other port. So we're going to take both of those out, right there and there, and run our lines. I also need to mount the dipstick tube to the back of the head. I don't know if I did that. I'll check that in just a second. Let's get our lines out. All right, here is the kit. Throw that away. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, all right, nifty. So here's a bunch of fittings and these fellas right here. And then our lines that we gotta run those up to the front. So I was looking on the interwebs, and this is an 1 3/4, and that up there is 1 1/2. And I just needed some footage, because when I'm looking online for these pipes and stuff, I can't always tell. Where's my tape measure? I can't always tell, like, how long of a pipe do I need, or how long of a part do I need, or will that fit? And I'm often going through my videos just trying to figure this out. So let's see how long-ish we need that. We'll put that there. So probably like, let's do like 11, like a foot would be a little long. See? Oh, see, that's not quite a 45. But would a 45 work, you know? Because it's got to come down like that. Kind of like that. Yeah, I think a 45 would work. So like 10 inch is probably good. And then the 45, if I can find a pipe that has a 45 near the end like this. More like an, you know, like that. But this edge has got to be longer. All right. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm going to get under here and start popping these out. You can see here some things have changed. So initially, yeah, I was gonna run it over and around, but because these have the 90s, and just changed how we're gonna run it. I'm gonna group this line in with the oil cooler, and I think I'm also gonna do the same with this. I mean, I got a lot of extra, but I don't know. I guess it's not hurting anything like that. I just don't like them separated like that, you know. I want them to be together. Okay, I got those tightened up under there and just kind of zip tied the lines together. You can kind of see that down there. Anyway, so the time has come. I'm gonna put some transmission fluid in it. We're gonna put in about 1 gallon and just check everything and then proceed. It should take about 12 empty. That's what the internet says. It says 7 for just like a drain and fill the pan. But we have a deep pan. So I'm going to start putting that in and I will let you know. I got some Durkon 6. And here we go. So far so good. So Durkon 3 would be fine, but Durkon 6 is even more fine, and this label says it's good for both. Let's see if we get anything. So that's only 8 quarts. So we'll let that kind of settle. Yeah, I'm gonna let that just kind of drain there. I'm gonna leave that right there. Let's lift her up. I do have more. I have 4 more quarts to make the 12, and I have extra ATF for the transfer case, and I have a pump. So, because we don't want any of those spinning without fluid. But there's no mufflers on the engine, and so it's just loud. It will be so hard for me to hear anything. And I just want to make sure that it's going to be good. You know, I'm a little, just being cautious is all I'm saying. Oh, quick update on the e-brake from last week. I cannot believe that I did this. So this end right here, right there, goes right there. So it's actually, I should have enough room, I think. Or does it come out right there? It came out of the frame, and I'm pretty sure that's it. So I think we can run this. Might be able to run it through on the other side, I don't know. But the brakes are currently going through right there. And the brakes actually used to go through right here. So, and then way up here, I've covered it. But the fuel used to come out way up here. There's a hole up there. So yeah, right there is where this feller should actually live. Way back here. And that means right here is where the bracket should go. So my idea for right there, because this is where you see right here, the e-brakes. This right here is Ford Explorer side. Man, that sucker's tough. But there's a cable that's going to go here, come over to here, and we got to get to plug into there. Same for this side. But I'm not going to run it from there into there. On the Ford, the Explorer, I think I'm just going to get the Explorer brake cables. We'll put this side here, which is longer. We'll run it over to here, and if I have to, you know, we can probably leave that. You know, maybe utilize it. But I'm probably going to have to get a bracket right here or here, and run both of those cables, those lines right here. And then there's another port. There's another part from the Ford that links the two together into one. And then what we'll do is figure out what we can do to get that part to hook up to this part. I was looking at some of the old video and it pops out right there. How funny. But it used another weird cable system that came from here and ran over here, and I don't really like it. So we're gonna use the Ford setup on that side. So okay, back to here. What were we doing? Oh yeah, so let's, oh, which way is this spin? That might be backwards. Hold on, I gotta look up and see which way this spins. All right, figured it out. I almost got poked in the eye with this thing right here, zip tie. All right, when looking forward, turns clockwise. So we will just spin this by hand, like this.
See if we can get any fluid, if there is any. It's actually a little tougher. I wonder if I'm spinning some fluid.
All right, I got the transmission filled. Well, yeah, I do. And the transfer case. So I was under here spinning it again, because now it's got 12 quarts. And if you listen, it's building pressure. I can hear, like I heard a bunch of fluid. I'm gonna start getting this bolted up.
346 minutes later.
All right, guys, welcome back. I got my assistant here on the camera, so thanks for being here. I've got the fluid in the transmission, guys. Fluid's in the transmission, in the transfer case, torque converter's bolted up, and the torque converter bolts are torqued. probably putting it in drive. Can you put the camera back under there?
Oh yeah.
Pretty good test.
That sounds awesome.
Sounds pretty good. Guys, I am super ecstatic right now. That was so cool. And it sounded so good. Actually, before we get it up too high, let's check the... You're supposed to check transmission fluid when it's running, but we can't run it for too long because I don't have coolant in the radiator. I don't have that hooked up yet. Let's check and see how much fluid is on the dipstick. But God, did you see it at all? Is that thing just a whirling?
Yeah. Oh no, not underneath.
Okay, I'll have to show that back to you. Oh, that's probably why it's idling a little weird. That's a vacuum I need to fill. Oh, and that's a vacuum I need to fill. So it was pulling in a little bit of extra air and didn't know what to do with it. So I could hear it running just a tad off. It's a quart low. Yeah, it's on the dipstick. That's what I care about. So I definitely need to add easily another quart, but we're gonna leave that for right now. But yeah, let's lift it up and just check our lines real quick, and we'll just make sure we don't have any leaks. There. All right, so before we pull the grill off, I figured we'd slap in one of these turn signal / park lights, and it works and it looks good. It's so classy looking. I love it. I love it. Will you turn the blinker off real quick? Just put it back to normal. Nice. Turn the lights on. Nice. Oh gosh, it's kind of it's a little bit dimmer than the headlights, but it is nighttime.
Daytime?
Sorry. It's daytime, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, headlights are bright. That's all right. Does what it should. Looks good, folks.
One pair of pants later.
All right, guys. I got the pedal in. Go take a look. Brake pedal is modified and welded, and it looks good. I was able to pump the brakes and feel that pedal. It's pretty strong. On the back of that, I put it's just a chunk of bolt, a U-bolt, and I just bent it around. So that way when you push on it, it's going to help keep it from like trying to bend it. It wouldn't initially, I don't think, but you never know. Slamming on the brakes, you'd be surprised at how hard you can push, But anyway, I think that's good. That's going to... Here, let's do this. Just hold your breath. You've camped with me,
Yeah.
already. So when you're driving, you're just gonna kind of be like that. Kind of rest your foot, as you do. Just kind of rest your foot like that, and then you just, yeah. See, just like that. It's perfect. It's perfect. I didn't tighten it up all the way. That's why it is a little bit loose. I'm gonna pull this back out one more time and just paint it. Make sure that because the backside of this is just bare metal, so I'll paint it. And there is this trim piece that came for the Camaro that helps keep it on, but I need to kind of like work this on a little bit better first. Anyway, I think that's a pretty good wrap for today.